Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to look at getting started with the Sorcerer Kings in Conquest First Blood using the faction's First Blood Warband box set. Big thanks to Parabellum Wargames today who have made this video possible with their fantastic support. They've given us a discount affiliate code to use which will get you 10% off your purchases from the Parabellum Wargames e-store and also go a long way to help supporting the channel while you grab that discount for yourself as well. And so, leading the box set is Raj. This is one of the many different free characters you can take. Generally, your foot characters are free in First Blood. The only way they cost points is if you choose to take any sort of upgrades on them, things like retinues or some of the magical artifact upgrades. Now, Raj has Cleave 1 for its combat attacks, which is pretty cool. 5 attacks, 5 wounds with Clash 3. It's pretty good, especially when you consider this model is also a wizard. It's a wizard 5, meaning it gets 5 dice to try and cast off some of the spells, and for those spells you'll have to choose to either be from the Court of Fire or Court of Air. This will depend on the spells you get access to. Other than that, your Magus spell is going to have the ability of this regiment can perform 2 spellcasting actions per activation. You've got your best money can buy, which means retinue models in this regiment add +1 to their clash, attacks and wounds, and in addition, when a retinue model in this regiment is within engagement range of the character model, that character model can re-roll defense rolls. And then your Jodi Blade, the Arcane Blade special rule. What this is going to do is at the beginning of this regiment's activation, before it performs its first activation, you can choose between the Raj attack characteristic or its Wizard X special rule. If you choose one, decrease its value by up to 3 until the end of the round, then increase the other by an equal amount. So he's really good at combat and magic and can sort of boost one up over the other to be decreased if it wants. It's a really versatile, powerful character to have lead your force. Now, speaking of leading force, you do have a couple of command abilities, the first being Favourable Winds, you can add +2 to some March, and Arcane Dervish as well when this character model performs spellcasting action against the Legionary within its engagement range, it can reroll its failed spellcasting rolls. And so the first unit we're going to look at for our regiments are the Ghouls. Now, Ghouls are pretty solid with 3 attacks each and 2 clash and 2 wounds. Defense 2 is nice, you know, the solid light infantry. They've got the attuned elemental rule, and what this does is essentially if you take the Court of Air or Court of Fire with your leader, you'll gain the Born of Air or Born of Flame special rule in concert with that, which sort of just affects how your army sort of works with different abilities and targeting them with certain effects. Now you've also got the Feral special rule, which means your unit actually has to test to sort of restrain itself during the game. If it's got actions to make and it's not engaged either by its own means or by an enemy engaging it, then it'll try and charge something if it's within range if it fails these sort of tests to restrain itself. Vanguard, on the other hand, means during the first battle round the regiment can perform an out of sequence mark action of up to 5 inches, so you get some extra free special movement. This is pretty cool because Sorcerer Kings do lack a bit of fast moving infantry and fast moving cavalry. They don't really have any of that at the current time, so this is a nice rule to have to get you some extra movement. Our next infantry unit are the Rajat Kur. Now these are more mortals. They have a solid defense of 2 with hardened 1, meaning they can ignore a point of cleave or brutal impact. They've got shields there as well to bolster their defense even further. All in all, like, these guys are going to be the unit that can hold ground, while your Ghouls will be the unit that goes and takes ground off your enemy. They've also got options for having a Stand Bearer if you do take 12 of them if you want. But all in all, a solid unit that can protect your character as well. And lastly, we have an Efreet Sword Dancer in the box set. Now, Efreet Sword Dancers are born of flame regardless, as you might sort of guess when you look at the models. They've got fire all over them, so that's what they are. They're one of your sort of Jinni or Jinn models available to you. Now, they've got feral, much like the Ghouls, so they're testing to restrain during the game. But they've got impact too as well for when they charge into combat, along with relentless blows, which means when a model with a special rule performs a clash, each roll of 1 will create 2 hits instead of just 1. You've also got the Infernal Release ability. When a model with a special rule is removed as a casualty, you inflict 3 hits on an enemy regiment that's engaged with it, so they sort of, dissipate in this giant burst of flame. Other than that, they are, just a solid combat unit. 6 attacks, 5 wounds, and a clash of 3. They've also got a solid defense of 3 and a point of evasion there as well, which is nice. And so, where to go next? And the first thing I'm going to suggest are Dana Disciples. Now, these are first of all going to bring some archers to your force, some range damage. They've got a range of 14 and barrage of 2, which is pretty solid in all seeing. You've got that volley characteristic of 2 as well to get some good shots off. But the mastery of the bow special rule is what I really like. This allows them to actually target enemy regiments that are engaged with them during their volley action. In addition, if this regiment doesn't perform a march action during its activation, models in the regiment can reroll failed hit rolls of 6 when performing their volley actions as well. And lastly, we're going to grab some Efreet Flamecasters. Now this is pretty cool because the Efreet Flamecaster kit is actually a dual kit with our Efreet Sword Dancers, so we could make another Sword Dancer if we want and sort of go 2 and 2 if that's what you want to do, or 3 of one and 1 of the other, whatever you want to do. These models though are a ranged sort of version of those models. They've got 4 attacks, 5 wounds and a clash of 2. They've got similar rules as Born of Flame, Infernal Release and Impact 2, which is the same as our Sword Dancers, but they've got Barrage 5 at a 10-inch range with Torrential Fire. And what Torrential Fire does is when a model with a special rule performs a volley action, every successful hit roll causes an additional automatic hit. Though you don't generate further hits from that, so you can get a really nice damaging shooting unit at relatively short range, but also is another unit that can do something in combat with that impact and decent amount of attacks. And so our list today for the Sorcerer Kings is going to look like the following. Leading our force as our character is of course our Raj. Now our Raj has also got a Patron's Gift on them. This is because we had a couple of extra points and we've gone for the Talisman of Mastery. This character model can reroll failed results with 6 when performing their spellcasting actions. So not only are we a decent caster already, we're going to further boost that with the ability to reroll 6s. For our regiment, so we've obviously got the unit of 8 goals that we have in the initial box set, along with a unit of 8 Rajakur. We then have a unit of Efreet Sword Dancers with 2 models in the unit, a unit of Dana Disciples with 6 models in the unit, and a unit of Efreet Flamecasters with 2 models in the unit as well to round out our force. We hope that this video was helpful in getting you started with Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings, and that it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment down below. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all our future Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings content.